When you combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion, you will change your energy and your life. You're waiting for money to come before you feel secure. You're waiting for love to arrive before you feel whole. You're waiting for success to happen before you feel proud. And that is why nothing changes. Dr. Joe Dispenza revealed a radical truth. When you feel the emotion that having an experience in life would produce before it actually happens, you begin to draw that potential to you. Think about that. Waiting keeps you stuck. Feeling it now pulls it to you. And the secret isn't complicated. It's a practice. Through simple meditation and emotional rehearsal, you can tune in to the future you want and start living it today. Stay until the very end, because what you'll discover could be the single shift that finally frees you from waiting and starts pulling your dream life toward you right now. We live our lives in constant waiting. Ethan waits for money before he feels secure. Maya waits for love before she feels worthy. Others wait for health before they feel grateful, for success before they feel proud, for freedom before they feel alive. And so, night after night, year after year, they wait. But the future never arrives. Not because it doesn't exist, but because waiting itself is the chain that binds them. Ethan's endless wait. Ethan worked tirelessly at his job. Every morning he told himself, when I finally get that raise, I'll feel safe. I'll relax. I'll breathe easy. But weeks turned into months. Promotions passed him by. Bills piled higher. And his mantra shifted into desperation. When will it finally happen? When will I be free? He didn't realize the trap he had set for himself. By waiting to feel secure, he rehearsed insecurity every single day, and insecurity became the only reality he knew, Maya's hollow heart. Maya longed for love. She scrolled through social media, watching friends post smiling photos with partners, engagements, families. Her heart ached. She whispered, when I meet someone, then I'll be happy. Then I'll know I matter. But each night she went to bed empty, and each morning she woke lonelier. Why? Because every thought she had rehearsed the same vibration. I am alone. I am incomplete. And the universe reflected it back with precision, the cycle of waiting. This is the cycle most of humanity lives in. We wait for success to feel confident. We wait for healing to feel grateful. We wait for wealth to feel abundant. We wait for love to feel worthy. But waiting is a vibration. Waiting says, I don't have it yet. And life, like a mirror, shows you exactly what you radiate. So if you wait to feel, you rehearse lack. And what you rehearse, you perform. The mirror of the subconscious. Dr. Joe Dispenza put it plainly. When you feel the emotion that having an experience in life would produce before it actually happens, you begin to draw that potential to you. But here's the tragedy. Most people reverse it. They wait to feel the emotion until the evidence arrives. But the evidence never arrives because the emotion never comes first. The subconscious is like a mirror. It doesn't create, it reflects. If you radiate absence, it mirrors absence. If you radiate abundance, it mirrors abundance. And so the invisible problem is not that life is cruel. The invisible problem is that we are rehearsing the wrong emotions. The prison of someday. Ethan lived in the prison of someday. Someday I'll be rich. Someday I'll feel safe. Someday things will change, but someday never comes, because tomorrow is always built on the vibration of today. If today you radiate lack, tomorrow mirrors it back. Maya, too, lived in the prison of when. When I'm loved, I'll love myself. But when is a lie, because no matter how many tomorrows pass, when never arrives if you never feel it now. The paradox of emotion. Here is the paradox Joe Dispenza revealed. You think the emotion follows the event, but the event follows the emotion. You think you need the job, the partner, the success to feel grateful, secure, and whole. But in truth, you need to feel grateful, secure, and whole to attract the job, the partner, the success. This reversal is the invisible problem of humanity. We've been taught backwards, and so we live backwards. The evidence of lack, but the mind rebels. How can I feel wealthy when my bank account is empty? How can I feel loved when I'm alone? How can I feel healthy when I'm sick? It's a fair question, but here is the deeper truth. Your body doesn't know the difference between a real and vividly imagined experience. Science proves it. Emotions fire the same circuits, whether the event is real or imagined. So when you feel lack, even if it's based on external evidence, you program your subconscious to mirror more lack. And when you feel abundance, even if no evidence exists, you program your subconscious to mirror abundance. The illusion of cause and effect. We live believing in cause and effect. Event first, emotion second. The promotion causes security. The relationship causes happiness. The healing causes gratitude. But Joe Dispenza flips the script. Emotion first, event second. Security produces the promotion. Happiness produces the relationship. Gratitude produces the healing. This is the reversal humanity resists, and the reason so many stay stuck. Ethan's awakening. One night, staring at unpaid bills, Ethan whispered, "When I have money, I'll feel free." Then he paused. He remembered a teaching he had heard. Feel it now. So he closed his eyes and imagined his debts gone. He felt the relief in his chest, the freedom in his breath. For a few moments, he lived in the vibration of already being free, and something shifted. The bills were still there. But Ethan felt different, and that difference was the beginning of change. Maya's awakening. Maya, scrolling through photos of love she didn't have, closed her phone. She whispered, "What if I already am loved?" She imagined laughter at dinner. She felt the warmth of a hand in hers. She let gratitude flood her. For the first time in months, she drifted to sleep smiling. And in that moment, she rehearsed a new role, your awakening. And now the mirror turns to you. What are you waiting for before you allow yourself to feel? Do you wait for success to feel confident? Do you wait for money to feel secure? Do you wait for love to feel worthy? And if so, how long will you wait? Another year? Another decade? A lifetime? Because the truth is, waiting keeps you waiting. The loop forward. But what if you reversed it? What if you felt the emotion now before the event? What if you rehearsed joy before the success, gratitude before the healing, love before the partner? Would life reflect it back? Would tomorrow mirror what you rehearsed today? That is the mystery Joe Dispenza challenges us to test, and that is where we go next. When you feel the emotion that having an experience in life would produce before it actually happens, you begin to draw that potential to you. This is not motivational fluff. It is mechanics, because emotion is the magnet of reality. The formula reversed. We've been taught the wrong formula, event and emotion. Get the job and feel secure. Find the partner and feel worthy. Heal the body and feel grateful. But Joe flips it. Emotion and event. Feel secure. Attract the job. Feel worthy. Draw the partner. Feel grateful. Create healing. Why? Because your subconscious and your body respond to feelings, not future conditions. The body as an instrument. Your body does not know the difference between real and imagined experiences. If you imagine standing on a stage, feeling proud, your body releases the same chemicals as if you were really there. If you imagine love, your heart rate shifts, oxytocin rises. If you imagine gratitude, your brain rewires to notice opportunities. This is not fantasy, it is biology. Your body rehearses tomorrow's reality every time you feel today's emotion. The quantum mirror Joe also draws on quantum physics. In the field of infinite possibilities, countless versions of reality already exist. Which one do you pull into your life? The one you match emotionally. Emotion is your broadcast. When you feel unworthy, you tune in to realities of rejection. When you feel abundant, you tune into realities of prosperity. The field responds to your frequency. Ethan practices the mechanism. Ethan, weighed down by debt, decided to test it. He sat quietly, closed his eyes, and imagined opening his mailbox. Inside was a letter. Paid in full. At first it felt fake, but he stayed with it. He breathed slowly. He let his shoulders relax. And suddenly, he felt the emotion, relief, freedom. For a few minutes, his body believed the future had arrived. His nervous system rehearsed abundance, and the next day, he walked lighter. He carried himself with dignity. He noticed opportunities to cut expenses, to earn more, to connect with people. The outer world began to shift because the inner world had shifted first. Maya practices the mechanism. Maya, longing for love, tried the same. She sat in silence, placed her hand on her heart, and imagined sitting at a dinner table, laughter echoing, a hand reaching across to hold hers. At first it hurt, because she didn't have it yet, but then she leaned deeper. She asked, "If it were real right now, how would I feel?" Warmth filled her chest. Gratitude swelled. She smiled through tears, and her body rehearsed love before love arrived. Soon, she walked differently. Her energy shifted, and that shift drew people closer. The science of emotional rehearsal neuroscience explains why this works. 1. Neuroplasticity. Every time you imagine and feel, you rewire the brain. You build circuits of abundance, love, gratitude. 2. Chemistry of the body. Emotions release chemicals. Rehearsing joy floods the body with dopamine and serotonin. Rehearsing gratitude lowers stress hormones. 3. Heart-brain coherence. When you feel deeply, your heart and brain sync. This coherence produces measurable electromagnetic fields that extend beyond the body. 4. The quantum field. Science shows that particles exist in potential until observed. Joe teaches that your emotional broadcast selects which potential collapses into your lived reality. The practice of alignment. So how do you apply this? Joe's meditation. Tuning in to new potentials is one method, but here's a simplified practice anyone can try. 1. Sit quietly, close your eyes. 2. Breathe slowly, inhale calm, exhale tension. 3. Ask, what do I want? 4. Visualize one simple scene, a handshake of success, a hug of love, a letter of freedom. 5. Feel it. Let gratitude, joy, relief flood your body. 6. Stay with the feeling. Let it carry you, even for a few minutes. This is not daydreaming. It is training your body to believe. And what your body believes, your reality reflects. Why emotion matters more than vision. Notice the difference. Vision without feeling is fantasy. You can picture wealth all day, but if you feel lack, you broadcast lack. You can imagine love, but if you feel lonely, you broadcast loneliness. It is not the picture that creates. It is the feeling, the emotion, the vibration. That is the secret. Emotion is the magnet. Your practice today. So what about you? What is the one thing you've been waiting for? If it were already real, how would you feel? Can you practice that emotion today before any evidence arrives? Because that practice is the magnet. That feeling is the frequency, the loop forward. But here's the challenge. And the question that pulls us forward, if the practice is so simple, if emotion is the magnet, if feeling is the secret, why do so many fail to sustain it? Why do people practice once, feel good for a moment, then fall back into old emotions of fear, doubt, and lack? The answer lies in the trials we must face, the inner battles of identity, conditioning, and impatience. And that is where we go next. Joe Dispenza made the formula simple. Feel the emotion now, attract the event later. But simple does not mean easy, because between understanding the formula and living it, there is a battlefield. And on that battlefield rise the trials, internal enemies that try to pull you back into the old self. Trial 1. The Whisper of Doubt. Ethan sat in meditation, visualizing freedom. He pictured his bills stamped, paid in full. For a moment, he felt the relief. But then a whisper intruded. What if this is fake? What if you're wasting your time? What if nothing changes? This is the first trial. Doubt. Doubt poisons the rehearsal. It shifts the vibration from I already have to I don't believe it's possible. And the subconscious obeys whatever you feel most strongly. Solution. Build evidence. Start small. Celebrate even the tiniest manifestations. A free coffee, an unexpected compliment, a small act of kindness. Doubt weakens when your brain sees proof that the practice is working. Trial 2. The Weight of Impatience. Maya practiced daily. She visualized love. She felt joy. She radiated gratitude. But weeks passed, and still no relationship appeared. Frustration grew. She muttered, "If it hasn't happened yet, maybe it never will." This is the second trial, impatience. Impatience kills manifestation because it fixates on time. And time is the illusion that separates you from the feeling of already having. Solution, replace. When will it come? With it's already on its way. Gratitude for the unseen accelerates what is coming because gratitude keeps you aligned instead of pulling you into lack. Trial 3. The Gravity of Old Identity. Ethan tried to feel abundant, but deep inside, a heavier voice clung to him. You've always been broke. You've always struggled. Who are you kidding? This is the third trial, old identity. Your subconscious resists change because it's familiar with the old self, even if the old self is miserable. Identity becomes a cage. Solution, cast votes for the new identity. Each time you act in alignment with the person you want to be, you weaken the old self. Over time, the old identity fades, not in one leap, but in 1,000 small deaths. Trial 4. The Chains of Conditioning. Maya grew up hearing, love is hard. Relationships never last, you're not enough. Even as she felt love in meditation, those old scripts replayed in her mind. This is the fourth trial, conditioning. We inherit beliefs from parents, culture, religion, society, and those beliefs shape our emotions. Solution, rewrite the script. When an old belief arises, challenge it with a new truth. I am worthy. Love flows easily. Abundance is my birthright. Repetition rewires the subconscious. Trial 5. The Flood of Distraction. Ethan sat down to meditate, but his phone buzzed. A news alert, a message, a notification. He opened it, scrolled, and 20 minutes vanished. By the time he closed his eyes again, his mind was scattered. This is the fifth trial, distraction. Distraction steals focus, lowers vibration, and fills the subconscious with chaos. Solution, create ritual. Put the phone in another room, light a candle, play calm music. Signal to your brain, this is sacred time. Where these trials exist, it would be easy to believe these trials mean you're failing. But the truth is, they mean you're transforming. The old self does not die quietly. Doubt, impatience, conditioning, distraction, they are resistance. And resistance is proof that change is happening. Like a muscle shaking under weight, the tremor is not failure, it's growth. Ethan's struggle. Ethan nearly gave up. Every night doubt attacked. Every day his old identity whispered failure. But he made a decision to celebrate small wins. When he found a $10 bill on the street, he said, proof. When a stranger offered help, he said, alignment. Slowly, his brain began to believe. Doubt still whispered, but softer, and belief grew louder. Maya's struggle. Maya wrestled with impatience. Every night, she felt love in meditation. Every morning, she woke up still alone. But then she realized her impatience was proof she didn't believe. So she shifted. She whispered before sleep, love is already mine. She practiced gratitude for friendships, for family, for small moments of connection. And one day, she woke not desperate, but radiant. That radiance was the magnet, your struggle. And now, look inward. Do you feel doubt whispering, this is fake? Do you feel impatience demanding, when will it come? Do you feel your old identity dragging you back? Do you hear the conditioning of your past replaying in your head? Do you battle distraction every time you sit to practice? These are not signs of failure. These are the trials that prove you are on the path. The cliffhanger. But here lies the greater mystery. When you pass the trials, when you outlast doubt, surrender impatience, shed old identity, silence conditioning, and protect your focus, something extraordinary happens. The practice stops being practice. The emotion stops being effort. Gratitude, joy, abundance, love, they stop being rehearsals and become your identity. And when that happens, the event has no choice but to appear. Because you no longer wait for the future, you live it now. That is the climax we are about to enter. Every story has a breaking point. Every practice has a threshold. And then, something extraordinary happens. The practice dissolves into identity. Joe Dispenza calls this the moment when the future stops being an external hope and becomes an internal state. When you no longer try to feel it, you simply are it. Ethan's breakthrough. For weeks, Ethan rehearsed abundance. Some nights, he felt relief. Other nights, doubt fought harder. But slowly, something shifted. One morning, he woke up and realized he wasn't waiting for money to feel secure anymore. He already felt secure. The bills hadn't vanished. His bank account wasn't overflowing, but the chains of lack had snapped. He walked into work, not desperate but confident, and confidence became his new identity. Days later, opportunities opened, ones he had missed before because he had been blinded by fear. Ethan's outer world shifted because his inner world transformed first. Maya's breakthrough. Maya, too, reached her turning point. At first, her meditations felt forced. Each night she pictured love. Each night she fought impatience. But one evening, as she placed her hand over her heart, she didn't just imagine love, she felt it. It wasn't about a partner anymore, it was about her own worth. She felt whole, radiant, overflowing. And the next morning, she didn't walk into the world seeking love. She carried it with her. People noticed, strangers smiled, friends drew closer, conversations deepened. Love found her, not because she hunted it, but because she embodied it. The paradox of arrival. Here lies the paradox. The moment you stop needing the event arrives. Because by then you no longer chase, you no longer wait, you simply are. And life mirrors who you are. Ethan's abundance, Maya's love. Your own dream, whatever it is, it doesn't come because you begged, but because you became. Identity over effort. Joe Dispenza's secret is not about endless visualization, not about straining to force emotion. It's about crossing the line where feeling gratitude, joy, abundance becomes natural. At first you practice, then you rehearse, then you embody, and finally, you live it. When gratitude is no longer an exercise but your default, life multiplies reasons to be grateful. When love is no longer a wish but your core, relationships align. When abundance is no longer an affirmation but your nature, opportunities flow. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. Your climax. And now, the question turns to you. What emotion have you been waiting to feel? Security, love, freedom, pride. Can you dare to feel it now? Not for 5 seconds, not just in meditation, but as your new identity. Because when you cross that line, the universe cannot resist. Reality bends to identity. The quantum field mirrors your state. And once you are gratitude, joy, abundance, love, you can never return to the old self. The final scene, picture this tonight. You sit in silence, close your eyes and ask, if it were already real, how would I feel? You let that feeling flood you. At first it's rehearsal, then it deepens, then it anchors. And soon you don't need to imagine anymore. You've become the person who already has it. Tomorrow, life will mirror that. Tomorrow, the stage will play the role you rehearsed. Tomorrow, the reality you once chased will chase you, because the truth is simple. When you stop waiting to feel, you start creating. The benediction. So let these words echo in your soul. You are not waiting for the future. You are living it now. You are not chasing the dream. You are embodying it. You are not practicing the emotion. You are the emotion. Ethan became security. Maya became love. And now it's your turn. Feel it. Live it. Become it. And when you do, the life you desire will have no choice but to appear, because it already lives in you. If you made it here, you've done more than watch a video. You've rehearsed your future. Joe Dispenza teaches that when you feel the emotion before the event, you become the vibrational match to the reality you desire. And by staying until the end, you've already proven something powerful. You are no longer just waiting. You are becoming. Now let's seal this practice with action. Rituals that anchor your new identity. First, press like. Don't do it for me, do it for yourself. Treat it as a declaration. I already feel the emotion now. Each click is a vote for the future self you're stepping into. Second, hit subscribe. By subscribing, you're surrounding yourself with reminders to keep aligning, keep practicing, keep becoming. It's not about adding another channel. It's about building an environment that sustains your identity. And third, go to the comments and write these exact words. I am already living it. Write it as if it were a fact, because it is. Type it slowly, feel it in your body. This isn't just a comment, it's a signal to your subconscious. This is who I am now. And if you want to go deeper, share the emotion you've chosen to embody tonight. Gratitude, love, freedom, abundance. Whatever it is, claim it now. Remember, you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. And in this very moment you've proven you are already living it.